HOTTOGO. You can shoot your shot to go.
Welcome back to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. My name is Tim. This is Lindsay. This is Taylor Jackson. We have a very special guest today on the Shoot Your Shot podcast, sponsored by Pepsi. This is a radio call-in show where we take your questions, hot takes, ideas about wedding photography and portrait photography, and we answer them here live on the show. We have, as I mentioned, a very special guest, Taylor Jackson. Welcome to the show.
Wow. How did we get this guy?
What a get.
Our booking agent is working overtime.
If you don't know, Taylor Jackson is a world-renowned wedding photographer and filmmaker, YouTuber, content creator. He's great, and he's here in our hometown. And he's one of my best friends.
For a long time.
And he's married to Lindsay, and he worked at Outback Steakhouse for a very long time. We drove by that Outback Steakhouse the other day. It's a Yee's Sushi still.
Yeah.
Where?
Does that make you sad?
Oh, in Cambridge.
Yeah.
I think the sushi buffet is the bar area, though, right?
Is it?
Have you been in?
It's been so long. Have you been in?
I haven't been in.
Okay.
That's the end of this conversation.
Great. We reached out to you on Instagram at the Shoot Your Shot podcast to get some questions that you might have for the Taylor Jackson here on the pod, and we assembled our favorite ones.
Absolutely. We are excited about this.
And Taylor doesn't know what they are yet, so that's very exciting. Taylor, do you participate in a lot of AMAs? What's your history?
The time.
Okay.
Every day, pretty much.
Tell me about that.
Well, I wake up usually around 8.
Okay.
And then the AMA starts around 9. And we usually just go until about 9 p.m.
Okay.
And,
then I go to bed and I start it all again the next day.
And by the AMA, he means his line of questioning from his mother.
It's possible.
The line of questioning starts actually around 6 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Hi, how are you? What's happening in your world?
Softballs. Yep.
Yeah. Leading right into tax questions.
Great.
Yeah. Hi, Kim. We love you. She's just an inquisitive little cat, and we love her. But no, actually, I'm probably the most inquisitive person in Taylor's life. I'm constantly asking him questions. But today we're asking questions from our listeners, and we just think that that's an absolute delight. Taylor, I hope you've watched this episode,
I have seen this episode already.
Have you seen this podcast before, Taylor? Don't answer that.
This episode specifically.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay.
It's my favorite one, probably.
On the Shoot Your Shot podcast, we do something exciting.
Yes.
And we shake the magic 8 ball and we ask a question. And today we give over the honors to you. You get to ask the magic 8 ball any question you'd like.
It's a yes or no kind of question thing. You have to read it out loud.
Don't say
be a thought.
like, should I do blue or red? Like it can't pick a pill for you.
Yeah, no.
Should I eat Arby's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it says no.
Oh, I can't read it.
No, it sometimes isn't good. Oh, there you go. You did get an answer.
I got an answer.
Is it Arby's?
Not clear.
Outlook is not clear. Thank
So
God.
I don't know if I get Arby's or not. It looks like a piece of cheese in there.
Yeah.
For the sake of the smell in our home, I'm happy that the Outlook is not clear.
I get rid of this thing. Oh, nope.
Reply hazy, try again. It still doesn't want you to
enjoy Arby's.
Go to Arby's, and
okay.
I appreciate that. So great.
They deliver.
Yeah. For people who don't know who you are, Taylor, maybe you can give us a little rundown for the viewers and listeners here at the Shoot Your Shot podcast.
I am a wedding photographer. I've been doing wedding photographies for about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Started doing video in like 2012, hybrid photo video days, and then that's been it. I don't do anything else. That's the total entirety of my business. That's
your
all.
CV. Okay.
Yeah. Then we do YouTube content.
Yeah.
And I used to do a lot more commercial work, and then that's kind of just become YouTube stuff or time for YouTube rather than trying to do 50 different things.
You become your own commercial client in a lot of
Yes.
ways. Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, Taylor also travels a lot, does a lot of interesting travel content, works with brands, does a lot of cool brand things with camera companies. Actually, it's funny that we have Taylor on right after, was it last week's episode when I roasted like why you guys are so upset that YouTubers make gear reviews, like because who pays the bills.
Yeah.
And now we are here with the man that gets the bills paid from those camera brands. So that's interesting. And actually, I think we have some questions about that from people. So perhaps we should just get into the questions and stop yapping.
Let's do it.
Or maybe we should yap even more with our friends over here in the question booth.
First question is a comment. Oh my God, I'm so excited from Queer Photo. Jen, we're so excited you're here.
Always.
Again, we put a call out to Instagram at the Shoot Your Shot podcast. Question number 2. Taylor, are you excited?
Respond to Jen.
Please respond to question number 1.
Also excited.
Very good. Okay, Jen, there's your answer.
Taylor's so excited he's actually going to sing you a Tegan and Sarah song. Jen?
I can't wait. Taylor, go.
Okay. We can't, even if it's a cover, we can't license it.
No, but maybe the first 15 seconds. I think that's fine, right?
It's not legal.
Come on.
Are we going to get in trouble from Chapel Roan for my beautiful song?
Which one?
I hope not.
Parody. Oh, no. It's parody.
Okay,
no, it's actually a direct promotion using her song, so yeah.
Listen.
But Taylor singing a Tegan and Sarah song wouldn't be a parody?
We'll
that would be too real?
Copyright law is the next episode.
Okay.
We have to address something. We did an AMA call for Taylor's thing, this episode 30, and we received this message from Emma, who said, I have sent a DM with a question previously, but it says your page doesn't accept messages.
Emma.
So.
You are right.
So sorry about that, Emma.
You know what's really funny, Tim?
Go on.
Well, we have an entire podcast that the entire premise of the podcast is for people to DM us and send us messages. And our account did not accept messages.
Good.
So
good.
It was interesting because we would get like random emails from people and like people would find our phone numbers and text them to us, or they would send them to our personal accounts. And not one time did you or I use our entire freaking brains to be like, maybe something's wrong with our Instagram.
Something's up.
And so it wasn't until Emma sent this through our AMA box. Yeah. That's how Emma was able to reach us to say, hey, your page doesn't accept. So I had to go into the depths of the Meta Instagram settings.
And we fixed it.
And that's just so incredibly embarrassing that we had to tell all of you that we're idiots. So if you have previously tried to send us a message and it said that we didn't accept them, it's not you. It was us. And please try again. We would love to hear from you.
And we heard from Emma, and we have a question for her coming up in an upcoming episode. So stick around for that, Emma. Taylor, do you have trouble with Meta, with the Instagram things? Does it ever go over your head?
Like there's like 50 inboxes. So I feel like that's a struggle.
Yeah. Very annoying.
And there's some inboxes I see questions come in or comments and then I can't find them ever again.
They just appear.
They're just gone.
They just disappear.
Gone forever.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that once they rolled out the general primary requests, secret requests, hidden requests, requests
we also have
you
a
might
business inbox on Facebook.
And now there's a new thing that I can get leads through Instagram. Have you gotten that?
Ooh.
I've gotten 2 that show up with like an actual appointment request, which I'm like, I certainly never set that up. So it's like, cool, you guys are rolling out things on my platform that I'm unaware of. But yeah, the message request thing is always spooky. You're like, I'm pretty sure I saw a message come through about this, but
it's just gone.
I'll never be able to find it again.
Yeah.
And that's just how we have to live. If I have to try that hard to find a message, I don't want it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not for us.
Which I'm sure.
Question number 3.
We're not even
curated these, by the way. This is a legit question.
These are real. This is getting to real.
From Reclicks Media or Rick? We think it's Rick.
I think it's Rick Clicks.
Okay.
Taylor, what do you think?
I'm going to say Reclick.
Reclick?
Really? Okay.
Okay. Well, Reclick wants to know how to thrive in a competitive market where others are offering very cheap deals. Ooh, a ghost. How do you feel about cheap deals? How do you feel about thriving in a market that maybe, is somehow sometimes undercutting you a little bit in the price?
I think there's a variety of different ways depending on your market. And there's no one size fits all solution, I don't think.
Yeah.
I would say if you are in a market that's I would say like kind of a mid-level market here, that we have maybe 1 million people in the local-ish area.
Yeah.
So that's like a pretty sizable number of people. And in this market, if you were to go out and create some really nice looking styled shoots, you could probably elevate your portfolio pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then while you're doing those styled shoots, be creating behind the scenes content. So when people come to your website, that they're actually learning about you rather than just seeing some photos.
Right.
And I would say that would be a starting or like a North Star, that all the stuff you create should kind of fit into one of those boxes, either creating your dream portfolio or just showcasing your personality. And then once people actually get connected to you and they want you to photograph their wedding or do video at their wedding, life becomes easier.
Yeah.
Because they know that they want you and they're not just shopping around.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think that you do well, Taylor, is that you don't really pay attention to what other people in your market are doing, which took me a really long time to figure out, to not waste my time, like even knowing what other people are up to. Like, I don't think that you spend a whole lot of time perusing people's websites trying to figure out how much they're charging. Like, you might hear it from other people if they say, oh, well, when you were doing commercial work, you'd hear from somebody saying, oh, we got a quote for this. And your thing that you told me, which I loved, when a bride would come to you and say, like, they're their quote or whatever, they got a quote from another photographer and it was much lower. And you would respond with, hi, Richard.
Richard's here, by the way. You can see him behind Lindsay there scratching
Oh, he's
himself.
having a little itch.
Yeah.
No more itching.
Good,
I don't know which side he's on. Your response to the bride would be, that sounds like a really good deal. You should go for it. Like, that was my favorite. It honestly, it is so good because it really drives Richard is just taking an absolute tour, but he's like powering through. It doesn't help that we have hardwood in the studio, so it's just like an ASMR of Richie's nails. By saying to the client, oh, this sounds like a really good deal, you should go for it, it puts the decision making back in their hands. Yeah. So their response is either going to be, okay, valid, so you don't feel like playing ball on this pricing. Mm-hmm. That's totally fair, and you're within your rights to do that. You're not saying, oh, well, there's a reason why, it's because they suck, right? Which is not a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
But the client then is going to say, well, I don't really want them. I wanted you for their price.
Yeah. And they'll find the money usually most of the time, right? Is that your experience? Did they find the money, or what happened? Okay.
Sometimes they rob a bank.
Okay. Yeah.
There's always money.
I'll also say that I've been doing this for a long time, so there are certain things that you can do 20 years in a business that you can't do in your first year in a business.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And your business will never be on complete autopilot, but once you're a preferred vendor at a number of different venues, it becomes a lot easier to generate leads.
Yeah.
And you can be pickier over the ones you actually take.
Right.
So I would kind of put the asterisk box
on that statement.
Yes.
Yeah, like if you're in your first year and you truly are competing on price with people, then maybe saying sounds like a good deal, go for it. They're going to be like, screw this guy.
Yeah.
That's incredibly rude of you.
I do like the idea of just focusing on yourself and like staying in your own lane and just creating content for yourself as opposed to competing at other people and where they are. Like, that's brilliant, and something you've been saying for years, and something I keep not doing.
Yeah. And you know what, it's interesting because like I think I hear from other local photographers probably more so than you do, because you've elevated yourself out of the local area. Sometimes people even question, like, is Taylor here still? Does he still do things? Which I love, that you like fly under the radar, so nobody even
above
bothers
the radar.
you.
He's
above
like in the lithosphere. Yeah, he's like above everything.
Above the radar? Wow.
I think you go above radar, can't you?
Gotta.
I guess depending on what type of radar.
Yeah.
I guess depending on if you are a UFO or not.
Yes.
Because
we'll get to
if
that.
you are a
Halloween
UFO, you
episode
definitely
coming.
can.
Yeah, is Taylor a UFO? We'll find out.
But yeah, I think it's interesting because I do hear from local photographers every once in a while. I think the family space specifically is really down and dirty when it comes to cheap stuff. And you thankfully, actually, if anybody is guilty of charging not enough for family shoots, it's you, because you only do them just like for funsies or for like friends or whatever. So you're like, I don't know, like $100. Like, I literally don't care about this. But
I think I did one for free this year for you, didn't I? That's the only family one I did.
Oh yeah, Taylor did do a free family shoot for me. That's really nice. I also didn't
a cake.
I also didn't even charge them. So to make you feel better, like, I took the money away. I felt bad because it wasn't me. Anyways, they were being charged. The client was being charged, and then we had a death in our family, and I told them I absolutely could not do their shoot, and they said it needs to be this day, and then you said you would shoot it for me, and I felt bad charging them for a shoot that they knew that I wasn't shooting. Yeah. Anyways, they are going to forever be a recurring client. You can hear more about recurring clients in episode 29 of the Shoot Your Shot podcast. Moving on. I think that it's back to, thriving in competitive market. Some things that I've learned from you, Taylor. I would say staying in your own lane, feeling really confident in the product that you serve, and not being so fussed about like what other people are charging. Yeah. More so like, is my product good enough that I don't have to worry about what other people are doing financially? Like, if people are competing with you only on price, well, you should try harder.
It sounds like the TLDR is just
that's
try
a Lindsay.
Harder.
Taylor would never say try harder. That's such an offensive thing to say. But would you not agree that there is a certain line where you're like, okay, if you're down here, this is such a hard market to be in. Like, if you're in the bottom of the pyramid when it comes to pricing, that's a rough place to be in. And my experience was that this was a much harder position to be in than here or even here on the pricing. That's a pricing scale.
Yeah, you can't see it.
You can't see it, but I was building an invisible triangle. You know what? Don't worry about
pyramid.
it. At the top of it, it's the people that charge. money.
Yeah.
That's where the pizza goes in the food triangle, right?
Yeah. Pizza's at the top. Ice cream is
Because
the
it's
pillar.
all the items.
Sweet, salt, ice cream,
Cheese,
and then
dough.
pizza. The point is, I think, energy you have, Rick, dedicated towards focusing on other people in your market to compete for business. You should pour that energy back into yourself and work a bit harder and try a bit harder on creating familiarity with yourself and your brand amongst the people that you want to pay you to do the job.
I really like that we're just calling him Rick now.
Rick!
Buddy's name could absolutely not be Rick. We could have done one more click through on the Instagram post to find out what this guy's name was, but I personally think it's more entertaining to just say Rick Clicks.
I think we did a good job on that question.
I think so too.
Do you feel good, Taylor?
Taylor, do you have anything else you want to answer about?
I'm glad that the food pyramid came up because that was a lie that we were all told.
Taylor, tell us about it.
So much bread?
Yeah,
that was so much bread they
Eggs
wanted
and
us
milk.
to eat. Yeah, it's weird.
The dairy farmers of Canada, just their lobbyists went ham on that. Yeah.
But in every school.
Eggs and cheese.
And they said like whole grains, but the whole grains was literally white bread, like Dempster's.
Yeah. It's like a wartime effort. We're going to move on to question number 3.
No, 4.
Right away.
Well,
4. Oh, 5.
Well, statements. The first 2
question.
are statements more so.
This is from Wesley Leon Studios. How do you balance wedding photography with your growing career as a content creator? If you don't already know, Taylor Jackson has over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, probably close to 1 million in total across TikTok, Instagram, and all the other things. He creates content for brands, for himself, for lenses, for software, for everything kind of in the photo video space.
Not Arby's.
Not Arby's yet.
You talk about them enough.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come
Soon.
running.
We should reach out.
You should
You're
do
pretty
a food
much
brand.
You're pretty much making enough content. You have made content for Outback.
That's true.
That's true. So hopefully the Arby's CMO is watching right now.
It'd be great.
And the original
tag
Arby's is
them
only
if
a
you feel-
5-hour drive from here.
Do you think he's on shift right now? The guy that
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
He's
Let
double
me
dipping. He's definitely
clarify.
working at a chain somewhere.
Can you please clarify for everybody? Because Taylor and I have been battling on this for a couple of weeks.
Is it about
Taylor,
Arby's?
Yes. Taylor keeps on saying the original Arby's is a 5-hour drive from here, which would lead you to believe what, Tim?
It's somewhere within the middle America.
Would you
look it
say
up.
that the current original Arby's would exist there still? Would that be an assumption you would believe?
I believe that the land hasn't moved or
Oh,
sunk into
okay.
a pit.
Okay,
So he
shoot.
sides
Okay.
with me.
No, okay.
But I don't believe the location's still there
No,
unless
it's
it's
not.
like,
So Taylor wants to go to a town where one used to exist.
where is it?
Yeah, it's right there.
Where-
Ohio.
Oh, is it still there?
It's in Ohio.
Okay.
It looks great. Oh, I hope they have the original.
Oh,
that
show
sign?
me. Let me pull it up to the camera here. See that, everybody?
Oh, pull it back to you. Focus. Oh, honestly, but do you think the sign is gone?
No, I think the
I think they would keep that one forever.
I feel like that
That's like
sign
a
is
legacy
probably.
sign.
I think that
Yeah.
sign's probably in the neon graveyard in Vegas. We'd
could
be
be.
better off going there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there, but
There's less than 100 original Arby's cowboy hat signs remaining in the USA.
What's your deal with Arby's? Why do you like it so much?
he doesn't even go there. He doesn't even eat Arby's.
He's eating there.
He
I've eaten
talks
there
about-
with him.
God, don't
Yeah.
tell me
I had
that.
cheese sticks and they didn't give me
Yeah,
any
we
dipping
felt really
sauce.
bad. That was the worst I felt after a meal in a long time.
Yeah, it was not good.
Now the CMO is listening and they're like,
Do I want to partner
okay.
with them?
Still in operation.
Oh, but you had told me that it wasn't. So
I just assumed that it wouldn't be.
You think
but
it wouldn't? Yeah, it makes sense that it
It's
wouldn't be.
1965.
okay, well, it makes
Wow.
more sense to go visit it now.
So, Arby's aside, back to the question at hand. Thank you, Wesley Leon Studios. How do you balance things, Taylor, when it comes to wedding photography as a full-time business, as well as growing your content career of creation of content?
Also, Wesley sent us a ton of messages.
Yes.
So thank you, Wesley, for
Thank
sending
you so
those
much.
in, and for being a listener of the pod and for being a big fan of Taylor Jackson's. Now back to you, Taylor.
Wes and I have hung out on 3 continents now.
Whoa.
That's almost 4.
Which one?
He came on the Iceland workshop.
Okay.
Come to Majorca. This is a plug for the Majorca workshop.
Okay. When's that happening? March?
March 4th. 5th.
Nice.
We'll put a little link to that in our description.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we saw each other in Japan the day that I landed. He was there.
Wow.
So he did
Anyways.
one of the roadie workshops with you with Way
Yeah.
Up North, right? And that's what Mallorca is going to be as
Yeah.
well. So if you want to build your portfolio in a really nice place,
Hang out with this guy.
that would be nice. That would be really nice.
That'd be fun.
Taylor, I also have this same question that Wesley has. How do you balance wedding photography with your growing career as a content creator? As your wife, sometimes I think you do a fantastic job of balancing all of the things, and sometimes I think could use a little work. Also, I think the same way about myself, so
Yeah.
it's not a dig, but
I don't know. It goes in seasons or months maybe that it's like busy for a bit and then it's not so busy. I would say I do less work as content creator now that I've put in the like time required to get to a suitable level, I guess.
How long do you think that took you? A suitable level?
Probably from 2013 to 2017.
Okay.
And pretty much making videos every day.
Yeah.
For those, what,
Vlogs.
5-6 years?
Yeah.
And then once again, similar to your like wedding business, that at some point you don't have to work as hard at it. So now if I upload one video a week, that's still totally fine. Whereas that might not have been enough to grow to get to a point where it became enough income to justify not taking weddings and doing video content instead. But then it's also that my wedding photography is also part of the content usually as well. So they're both work together. Yeah. So if I'm out doing something, I'm just filming it.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have any film days. Like if we're filming something, we're here for maybe 2 hours, doing like a lens review or something. But otherwise it's usually like on location, something we'd be doing for the wedding photography business anyways.
You'll often bring a lens that's like brand new or a camera that's brand new to like a wedding and shoot it, whether you're second or doing it primarily. Like you always obviously have a backup because it's new technology and you don't want to rely on like, oh, that camera angle is terrible. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to adjust this after the break.
Is it falling? I think it's actually falling because it wasn't there.
Properly.
No, it's slowly.
No, it's moving.
Dipping down. But,
it wasn't like that before.
You bring like new stuff to weddings and you shoot some stuff on that like as like a backup, which is amazing.
Keep it fun.
Yeah. I like
new
that.
stuff.
That's brilliant.
If you've done like 1,000 weddings, they get kind of, I don't know, they're mostly the same.
Okay.
So how do you keep yourself inspired?
That's fair. Yeah.
Use new stuff.
Do you find that you get a lot of joy out of that? Like, does it help you create in new ways when you're on a wedding day, or does it keep it fresh? What's the deal?
Sometimes you find a thing that you end up using a lot.
Okay.
Sometimes you realize what you don't want to use ever at a wedding.
Right.
And it's nice to, I guess, know that. And usually it's like a second shooter thing if it's questionable.
Yeah.
Or third shooter even. If it's like a questionable thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We've only had one of those.
Okay.
I would say one, I forget, I would never remember what the camera was, but remember we were looking back at it and I was like, oh, this is unusable. But you didn't, you weren't a main, like you weren't a hired second, and you shot film for my clients, which was like a really nice bonus. But I remember there being like and I mean, our version of unusable is probably quite different from what somebody else would say unusable.
Absolutely.
There were just you had a lot of focus issues with it.
It was the R6 and the 50, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I do remember what it was, but I don't want to get roasted because it's a brand we actually really like. It was just maybe they put out a subpar product at that moment in time. But it's not something that you would have tested out with like your own paid client. But back to sort of the balance, I would say what Wesley is probably trying to get at is how the heck are you doing it all? Because like you're traveling all the time, you are, still doing tons of weddings. Like you're still probably doing like 30 plus weddings a year. And you're still pumping out video content all the time. Like maybe walk the people through a typical day in the life of Taylor Jackson.
You wake up.
AMA starts at 9 a.m.
Yes.
AMA,
We've established all of this.
AMA with Kim Jackson.
Good morning. How are you?
I don't know. It's like a regular day.
Yeah.
I feel like I've pared back all the stuff that I don't really want to do. I feel like I used to have like appointments and shoots and there'd be like 10 different things on my calendar every day. And now there's hopefully one at most. Yeah. That's about all. Figure out what I want to do.
Step 1, wake up. Step 2, do nothing. And then step 3, profit.
I do stuff.
Taylor's schedule list is incredible. He gets a piece of shitty scrap paper with a Sharpie and he writes out what he's going to do for the day. His system is incredible. Like I'm over here with like 12 different productivity planners, and Google Sheets, Google Maps, Google everything. And Taylor's got this like ransom note of today. Make Nikon video. I'm like,
it's mostly like, just invoices outstanding as literally the Sharpie document.
Who am I going to pay? Who's going to pay me? And it's just very
funny.
No cops. Yeah. It's just very funny to me that you've got like such like big projects on the go that are literally being tracked on a really
flammable,
incredible system. Yeah. I mean, you do have a really good memory. I'll give you that. You've never screwed anything up. You've never messed like up like I was supposed to do that one. Well, maybe you have, but I never heard about it.
Would you say that's one of the keys to balancing things?
The paper and the Sharpie?
Paper and the Sharpie, yeah.
Probably
find the shittiest piece of paper.
Usually it's the back of like a card or something.
Yeah, Kleenex box.
Or like the back of like the Starbucks envelope when you get like a Starbucks $25 gift card.
How do you manage that? Like, it doesn't get thrown out by the cleaners or anything?
They don't go in his office.
You just kind of tuck it under something.
Okay.
Tim.
So it's like, yeah.
The cleaners do not go in our office.
Okay.
And I say our so loosely. They don't go in Taylor's office. The cleaners actually haven't been, our cleaners come every couple of weeks. We love them. They're delightful people and they keep our show moving. They also, I would say, to answer part of Wesley's question, part of how Taylor balances, like, I mean, the and one of that would be, and like a home life, right? Because you have to balance all of that, is that you don't do things that aren't great for you if you can outsource them. So you have a video editor.
I have 3 video editors.
You have cleaners that are really great to keep the house like in order.
Yeah.
Because I can't exist in our home if it's Taylor's office is like a little squirrel's nest. He just like takes all of his things and he just squirrels them away.
My little paper.
He's got his tiny little shredded piece of paper for his nest. He's got his little nuts over here. He's got 16 coffee cups in the window ledge because the window ledge is away from the desk.
You're describing my partner Kelly right now.
Yeah,
she calls herself, it's like a crow mind where she sees shiny things. You just like
have to have
put them in little spaces.
So that's what Taylor has, but it's like random Gucci boxes. It's always like a funny thing. If I ever go through his drawers, he's got like random Gucci jewelry and then like thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm just kidding. We actually don't keep that much gear at home.
I only have like 2 cameras.
But like random, I've never seen somebody with so many freaking filters. I don't know what they do because I don't do video, but why are there so many filters?
Because they're all different sizes.
Yeah.
There are so many. There's a new Amazon box coming to our house every single day. And I swear to God, it's always at least one filter in the box. But you are really good at saying, I don't want to do that. So how do I not do that?
How do I outsource?
Like, you don't clean the house. You are really good at like taking care of Richard and flipping the dishwasher and doing all of that like daily stuff.
Yeah.
But like as a regular person, like you're not going to be cleaning the bathroom per se. So you were just like, how about we stop doing that ourselves and stop fighting over why we're not doing it and just hire some people. And they're just better at it than we are. They really are. Way faster. These girls come in. There's 3 of them in 1 hour. Even if I was to say, okay, so it's 3 hours, there's no way we could do what they do in 3 hours.
No.
They have good products. Anyways, speak more on your video editors, Taylor. I feel like people are interested in that. You have 3 different video editors. That's wild. A lot of people.
Yeah. So Tyler he's been doing most of the stuff since probably the past 2 years, I would say, on the channel.
Cheeseman?
Mr. Cheeseman.
Tyler Cheeseman.
He's been doing a lot. Depending on how many projects he currently has on the go.
Yeah.
Our friend Chris Teaz sometimes helps out as well. And then I have a company, Wanderlust Studios, Wanderlust Videos in the States that does a number of my wedding films now. And they kind of built a package around this hybrid photo video model where if you just shoot a reasonable amount of clips that they will make it cost effective for you.
Oh, that's nice.
So they do that. And then they're starting to do some YouTube stuff as well. Because I did a lot of really big projects this past couple of weeks.
You want to make sure that they get done in time. And
how much does Wanderlust cost? Because I feel like that's very intriguing. Because to me, the number one reason why I absolutely can't add video in is because the idea of adding in another post-production thing is just not in the cards for me. But certainly if you can add in the cost of that, if you can build that into your package, then that sounds nice. But how much does something like that cost?
I think the new package that may or may not be out yet, maybe this is the worldwide release of it. I think it's $399 for hybrid.
Oh, wow.
Day.
Oh, wow.
So as
and
long
you just
as it's
send
under,
them clips and they're like, here's a video.
If it's under 250 gigs, these are like the rough stats. I don't know if this is real.
Okay. We can add a link.
Yeah, as long as it's under like a reasonable amount. They're not going to do like a full ceremony edit for you. They're not going to do a 25-minute like feature cut.
I don't even watch that.
They're going to do a 3-minute, 4-minute highlight.
That's what music video.
Set to music. Yeah. And they do add a little bit of audio, at least in the
like
packages.
If you want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like Nat sound. So if you do a drone shot, they'll add some just like
birds,
ambient
water,
just always the eagle. They'll add some stuff to add some warmth to it, so it's not just a straight music video.
Right.
But yeah, they basically you just upload the footage, and then they send you a project back, and the way I process it is that it takes me as long to give them feedback on what to change as it would if they just give me the project and I just make the changes myself. So
interesting. So you just take the project
back.
Yeah.
But they will make changes and they'll finalize it for you.
That's nice.
The main thing I think that they do that makes my stuff a lot better is they color grade everything properly. Okay. And they're like a pro colorist rather than me just doing like a adjustment layer on everything. And just like if like one shot's
cutting
too
that
bright.
Adjustment.
Yeah. So they're really, really good at that. And color alone makes your project feel so much better. So that's kind of, I don't know, moving forward, we'll see. Richard's just looking at himself in the mirror.
He's like, why are we here, guys?
What's happening?
There's nothing comfortable here. There's one bed. Everything's a sharp
here, do you
corner.
Want to come up here and you can say hi to your fans?
Yeah, you want to say hi to everyone, Richard? Let's see if he jumps up. It's possible. There he is. There's the handsome prince.
Stretch.
Handsome prince, Richard. Richard, do you have any thoughts or feelings around balance around content creation? Okay.
It's good, babe.
That's good. Thank you, buddy.
I love you. Please don't lick my face. I love you too. Okay, I'm going to let you down. It's very slippery floor, okay? So be careful.
Lindsay, we give advice all the time on this podcast.
We sure do.
Where can someone go if they want more detailed advice about their business, how they're doing as a photographer? Is there somewhere they can go more in depth and learn from you?
I made an entire course for you.
Tell me about it.
I made a comprehensive course, over 6.5 hours of videos.
Amazing.
It includes digital downloads, including email templates, pricing guides. I've got like pretty much everything you need. If you were like, I'd like one business now, please. That's this one here. So for $279, Better Than Booked is pretty much the best deal you're gonna find, I think, on the internet for photography business education. But not only that, your girl's gonna give you $100 off as a listener of Shoot Your Shot using the promo code Shoot Your Shot.
All one word.
All one word. Shoot Your Shot. BetterThanBooked.com.
What's the website again?
Oh, it's BetterThanBooked.com. Most photographers fail not because they're not skilled, but because their mindset is wonky. Their mindset is lacking. They are missing the necessary skills to not just exist as a photographer, but to exist as a business owner who wants to thrive financially with a sustainable business.
Right.
Get into limiting beliefs, building habits, productivity, showing up authentically, community and competition. And then we also get into skill sets using the promo code
Shoot Your
Shot on www.betterthanbook.com.
Taylor, do you ever find it challenging to like mentally keep track of all the shit going on in your head?
We know you have a physical copy of it somewhere in your office under a rock, but you when you wake up, you still have to make that list from memory or from emails. Like, how do you manage things mentally?
It's usually one thing at a time.
Okay.
It's rare that I'll have multiple projects ongoing that I'm in control of.
Yeah.
And that means that if like I shoot, like I did a behind the scenes wedding day this past week, and now that will go to editing and that kind of goes off my plate until it comes back as a mostly final project.
A little boomerang action. Just throw it away. It comes back eventually.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so I just like have kind of one of those, like I'm not shooting like 10 different, if we're on like a 7-day trip, we'll do like 45 videos in the 7 days.
Right.
But, if
45 videos, it's probably not.
Yeah. So those are the weird, but it's also that like, that's all we're doing. We're just like kind of, I don't know, doing what we want to do and filming along the way.
And then eating along the way.
Yeah. But then we're probably doing like a lens review, but then we're also doing a review of the camera it's on. And we're also doing like a travel photography tutorial. There's like all these things layered. That gets complex. And then at the end of the day, I just sort footage when I get home. So put it all on the drive and sort it out. So everything makes sense and you don't have to worry about it later. And then you just go project by project.
Yeah. And you travel a lot. So having a laptop that can handle, large video files, also very helpful. And I see you editing a lot on the plane when it comes to reels and updating us on your life.
And also shooting like 8-bit
420.
400.
Yeah.
420.
300. Is that a thing?
Yeah. With like a baked in like Cinetone LUT. It's very lightweight. I haven't, your C70 footage like crushes my computer, but I've had no issues with like any of the Sony discount footage that I've been shooting.
Well, then this is
Discount
probably
footage.
It's good though. It's like really high quality. 420.
Care less. That's the lesson here. Care less about your video footage.
As long as you don't have to color grade it too much. Once you start to do too much, then it explodes. But
getting it right in camera probably helps a lot too. Yeah.
I think you crushed that. Let's get on to the next question here.
Next question. We know this guy. Tyler Cheeseman, your editor.
We're trying to make this a thing.
Wants to know, will fisheye lenses make a comeback anytime soon? And for the audio listeners, it's just a picture of.
This is actually how he responded to the AMA.
Do you think that's a real photo of his face through a fisheye, or is that just like a tube of?
I'm going to say it's a fisheye adapter.
Okay.
No, I'm going to say it's an adapter.
Okay.
On his
phone.
On his Sony camera.
Or
no, it could even be on his X106. He's a proud owner of an X106.
Wow, good for him.
So will fisheye lenses make a comeback anytime soon, Taylor?
Louis Vuitton ran a campaign last year, and it was all fisheye.
Whoa!
And I was like, it's coming back, then it didn't.
No, okay.
So I don't know if you're still in the snowboard scene.
Yeah,
it's never left. But I don't know. I guess Jackson Grant's bringing it back.
Yeah,
Jackson Grant's bringing it back in a big way.
If we had 3 more people that had an outrageous style like Jackson, I feel like
you'd be popping off.
They would collectively bring fisheye back. I don't know. He's doing it a little bit on his own, but it's a big task to bring an entire look back as one person.
No kidding.
So
you started out in fisheye a little bit.
It was my first expensive lens.
Yeah,
10.5 millimeter.
Imagine that's your move. I guess you were shooting a skateboard and snowboard stuff, so that made a lot of sense at the time. But it's just so funny to me, like that's your go-to. Like most people go for like the 51.8, and you're like,
I had a 51.8, but it was like a $99 lens at the time,
right?
And then I think the 10.5 fisheye was like 900 or something.
10.5. Did you ever shoot a wedding? Bring it to a wedding for? Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Most of my portfolio shot with that lens.
It's incredible.
It was good.
Okay.
I feel like you want to overuse it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's usually only good for like 2 shots.
Okay.
The entire day. Especially
what are those shots?
If like, so at a place we shoot a lot, Cambridge Mill, they used to do ceremonies in that amphitheater.
Right.
Outside.
Yeah.
So I second shot a wedding for Marshall, who was the main photographer on it.
Damn.
A while ago. The fisheye, the 10.5 fit the amphitheater perfectly.
Oh, nice.
And it looked really, really nice. So there are situations where it looks nice. Anything that is like perfectly mirrored, it looks cool. Or if you can perfectly mirror something.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's a little chaotic
looking.
looking.
Do you have any tips for people for framing people? Because it very much distorts people's faces.
Yeah, you just go.
Look at Tyler here.
You just go.
You just go.
I believe the term is let it rip.
Okay.
I would say the more action, it's like you have to be really close to people. So the more action, the more like stuff happening.
Okay. The better.
Yeah. Otherwise, like if you have a very reserved couple that is very not into pictures and very quiet,
being this close might not
it's very difficult to get them to open up to
I've been shooting on a 16 for dance floors for the last like 3 weddings. Sorry, I moved really far back there when Richard was climbing. I've been shooting on a 16 for dancing for the last few.
That's a fisheye almost.
Honestly, it's a blast.
If you don't correct it in post, it's a fisheye.
Oh.
Well,
so you're shooting a fish.
I am shooting a fisheye then, yeah. Cheers to you, Cheeseman.
Do you think there's a particular part of the day, I mean, outside of like an amphitheater where there's like many people and you want to make sure you get everyone in that one frame for the ceremony? Lindsay mentioned dance floor. Is there another time of day you think you'd want to create images with a fisheye lens, or is it?
I'm just stunned because you're such an introvert that you would get that close to people.
Well, they get close to you. You stand there, and they try to not hit you.
No, you come to me.
And also, you can just kind of like point it, and you just get everything. So I would say like during the ceremony, if there's anyone skateboarding.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
always
good.
Helpful.
Doing nose bone.
Yeah, a little tray flip down the aisle.
I've had that, by the way. I have the officiant coming on a longboard. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Butterfly Conservatory.
Oh, that's classic. Little weirdos. I love it.
That's a fun little
it's
track
a fun
too.
loop. Yeah, she did a good job.
Could have beefed it into the.
There was a moment where I was like, I'm kind of in the way too. I should probably step onto a butterfly.
You said she did a good job. It was a female officiant that skated in. I love that.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Even cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that fisheye would have been great, especially with like that it's like curved surface coming in.
Yeah, no one shouted "do a kickflip," which I thought they should have at that point. But
I hate talking about gear, but I'm going to ask you one more gear question. Solely because I live to serve, and I know that people like to talk about gear, so here I am.
You're lost.
If you have a current favorite system and or lens, or what's your current favorite situation right now?
Still got to go with 10.5 fisheye.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to come back.
True, but
no, I don't even have a camera that can. It's an APS-C Nikon fisheye.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the A9 III.
Okay.
It's very
Sony.
Too expensive for weddings, but it's very, very nice. Okay.
How much is it?
I think it's like 6,000 US.
Wow.
Bit much. A little bit much.
And then I like the 35 1 for GM1.
Okay.
Not 2. There is no GM2.
Not yet.
It was like the last, I think that's maybe the second last one.
We're getting too much into
came
gear.
after.
We have to move on.
But yeah, it's really, really nice.
You know what? People like to hear about it. Well, we live to serve.
People are going to try to pull that as a spoiler.
Like, yeah, they will.
Leaked lens, and then it doesn't come out for 25 years.
Fisheye is coming back, Tyler. Thank you so much for your question. In a big way. Use it everywhere, especially if there's a skateboard involved. Question number 7, 6, 5.
Lord only knows.
How does one reach out for brand deals? Brand deals or partner with brands to create campaigns? This is also from Wesley. Taylor, how does someone reach out to brand deals to brands and create campaigns?
I just emailed everyone.
Okay. How do you find these emails?
You can either find a PR contact. So bigger brands, if there's like a press release, there's always a PR contact at the bottom and usually an email.
Okay.
If you call them on the phone, you're going to blow their mind, especially if it's like not a Gen Z.
Yeah.
If it's an older person and they've never been called by a content creator, like ever in the history of time, it's always just email.
Or even DMs, which I think is criminal. I always think that's so crazy when that's how people reach out is by DM. Like, I get if that's maybe a, hey, wanted to let you know I've sent you an email, maybe.
A follow-up, maybe.
But if you're trying to get a real, actual contact, like, you're just reaching out to a social media manager there. Like,
And then if you are reaching out, if like Instagram or I had a weird amount when it was Twitter.
Okay.
Because Twitter is like a known thing in corporate America. So they always had somebody that would be there to like make sure, I don't know, manage comments and whatnot. And you never like pitch them there. You just ask for like, hey, interested in collaborating. What email do I reach out to?
Right.
And they usually will give you an email. That works really well for hotels, smaller hotels.
Okay.
Airlines I've had no luck with. I don't know if they ever do deals with anyone. And then beyond that, it's just kind of pick things you want to do and then just start reaching out. Like we got to go on a safari when the channel had like 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And I reached out
that was in the early days of content creators then, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think a lot of that space has changed now to be a bit more competitive,
but yeah, like for that, I reached out to probably 45 different companies.
Okay.
And one of them got back to me.
That's wild.
And they were jazzed to work with you guys. Like I remember how excited they were about it and they gave you guys like the full treatment. It's not like they were like, yeah, fine, but you have to still pay us.
Yeah. A little weird showing up in Nairobi at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then hanging out in like a Ramada.
Yeah. That was
breakfast
great.
space until 7 a.m.
The whole experience of being in Africa and Kenya specifically was just like beautiful. Like it's everything I didn't know it would be.
I want to go on a safari so badly. Remember at the time I didn't really want to go. Like if the opportunity was there for me to go with you guys, I wouldn't have wanted it. I think I was just like, I don't do well with jet lag and whatnot. But now I'm like, damn, if there's like a big trip that I want to do, I feel like that's like number one for me. So if anybody does have a little contact and they want to set us up with another safari, I'd love
Lindsay's
to go.
In.
But yeah, would you say now still that's how you go about it, Taylor? Like, do you reach, like if you were going to reach out to Nikon, you just find an email there? What's the deal with camera brands? How do you reach out to them?
There'll be a PR contact, and usually the PR company is at like in some part of most of the deals.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just say like, and also having something specific too. So once you actually know the person you need to talk to,
right.
Just having something really specific to like what exactly you want to do. If you're just asking for like product loans or something, it's a pretty easy way to get most brands to respond to you. That you're not actually asking for any product or money. And at least that way, like you work together one time and maybe you actually need like that you want to shoot a wedding with a bunch of gear. And you get all that, you use it, you make a nice project for them, you send them that project when it's online. If it does pretty well, they'll be quite happy with you. And then in the future, maybe you're in the short list for
people that reach out for new product or you know, campaigns. Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is interesting is like whenever, I mean, I don't spend a ton of time with you while you're actually doing like most brand videos or whatever, but one specific instance when we were doing a video for your channel with Nikon, we were in Vegas and Jeff from Nikon took us out for lunch. It was so nice. But we then were making this video, and during that time, you know, you're hearing from these people that work for the companies about what their pain points are, right? So you're able to hear like, what is it that, and this isn't necessarily using Jeff as an example, but like, you know, somebody that you speak to at the company is then saying, oh yeah, you know what I've been really trying to push forward is I would love to see more, you know, photographers doing adventure travel with this camera. And they don't have enough people promoting that. And now you can help try to solve a problem that sometimes internally is really hard for them to solve. And maybe they don't have budget for it. And now you can be the person that like helps them out and gives them the visuals for the idea that they have. Like, do you find that has happened? You can sort of parlay things. Once you get one yes, you can make more yeses out of it. Yeah.
And most of those people that you'd want to talk to, they're all at Richard's building a bed.
It's digging.
Building the IKEA. Just fluffing up the mattress there. That's
having
nice.
mirrors is great. Just to be able to see all the angles. He's almost got it. He's 2/3 done.
Bear, have a sit.
Front 2 paws, and he's spun once.
He usually does
spun once just to do
spin.
the make sure that he's getting all the angles of this hole. He's not digging.
This is weird,
okay,
buddy.
He's moved 90 degrees, and he is almost back to square one, 180 full.
I think it's because Jose's been on his bed, so he's trying to figure out like how do I make this smell like
off?
me?
Yeah.
Again.
Well, he's using his paws. That's where all the smell glands are, I guess. So he got it, and he's sitting. And he is
relaxing.
Down. As always, you can subscribe to us on YouTube.
He missed his little look over in the mirror.
Oh,
he looked up.
Over?
Oh, hi, buddy.
There he is. Richie. There he is. Hi, buddy. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. We're over there on the old YouTube if you want to give us a looky. Lou, what are we talking about?
We were saying, do you just parlay those relationships?
Yes.
Like, so from one yes, you get more yeses.
Yeah, and then also all the people that you need to talk to are usually at trade shows. So if you go to NAB or CES or at whatever relevant trade show it is, there's a pretty good chance you can actually just talk to the people, which is a lot more beneficial than just sending out cold emails. Yeah. And then the other thing to mention, I guess, is that if they have a product that's doing well, they're probably not ever going to give you money to promote it. If it's already selling itself, they need help selling the stuff that's not selling. So,
right.
So you probably aren't going to get to go on the flagship release, but you might get to do like the APS-C travel cam that they have a backstock of 100,000 units still. So it's being aware of that.
So when you're starting out,
struggling,
you want to kind of be a jack of all trades in terms of like what you're able to showcase when it comes to brands and their products and their campaigns. Yeah.
And I find like, you know, they also might need help with like their less sexy things. Like one of the brand deals that I did was a video for Imagine about their cloud backup. And I was like, damn, that's going to be a tough one, but okay. But if you can make something that's entertaining, that's enjoyable, that people engage with on their toughest stuff, then they're going to be much more likely to come to you for their
big boys.
They're more entertaining things that they really enjoy. On the flip side of that, like working with venues as wedding photographers, one of the things that I've noticed that they were really struggling with for a long time was selling their winter weddings. I was like, okay, so I'll just send you guys a ton of winter photos. I mean, I did that until I stopped wanting to shoot winter weddings myself, because then by doing that, that's
not fill. Just make everything winter.
I'm like, oh, this was July, but it's now winter. But just, you know, really with anything, it's figuring out how you can help solve the problems that they have. Everybody has a boss to please. Everybody has
a quota.
Everybody has something that they need to do to impress their bosses so that their bosses can buy bigger boats. So whatever you can do really to help those people get wealthier and stay wealthy, they're gonna like you. They're gonna like you. That's what I know.
Stay wealthy, my friends. You know that guy?
Drive a bigger boat. Stay wealthy, my friends. Wesley, thank you so much for this question.
Thank you for all of your questions. They were all phenomenal. We appreciate your many submissions.
Moving right along, Taylor Jackson. This is the last question we have for you.
The last one?
Yeah. This is from Jill. She wants to know, what are you excited about in the next 2 to 3 years of your career? What is on the horizon, Taylor Jackson?
I have no idea. The paper ends at current project.
Okay, it's only so big. Yeah, you should use smaller font when you're writing.
Maybe the other side.
Oh, you should flip
that's
it.
That's the Starbucks logo.
You'd have to work around creatively the logos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I could tell you that he's joking about the Starbucks thing. They're literally ripped open the inside of a white, like the inside of a white. Like,
are they still wet with like coffee?
No, the Starbucks like gift card.
The gift card.
Like somebody gives you like a $25 gift card.
Yes.
Cup would be better. Just like torn up cup.
You could. Yeah.
That's disgusting. They're waxy inside. First of all, the wax inside I don't think would be helpful. But I don't think that the gift card paper is really a very effective. Like we have notebooks at home. Like I know I'm making it sound like Taylor and I.
Notebook.
Like Taylor and I live in like just an absolute state of. Like our cleaners come over and they look in the office and they're like, "Oh gosh, can't go in there. That's filled with paper and nesting material."
It's like Kelly, it's like a crow's nest. Yeah.
But I am curious about this also, Taylor, because one of the things that I've been pointing out to Taylor a lot lately is like you're not really looking super far in the future anymore, and I want to know what you feel like is coming up for you, because I think you had really big plans when you were a younger photographer about where you wanted your business to go, and then you did it. And then you wanted to grow a YouTube channel, and then you did it. What's the thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no future goals. Complete.
Zero future goals.
You did it.
I did it.
Retirement, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Do you want to retire? Is retiring on your list of things to do?
Aren't we already retired?
No. It does feel like we're retired a little bit.
I feel like since 2020, it feels a bit more like retirement.
Yeah.
A lot of days.
I say almost every day it feels like I'm retired.
Okay.
People just pay me to work.
That's not retirement.
But it's like the fun. You get to do fun things.
It is fun.
Most of the time.
That's true. But you don't want to work at Home Hardware? You don't want to tell people where plumbing supplies are?
That's worse than like doing what I'm doing.
I'm asking for everyone, Taylor, not just for me.
I would say... no real plans to retire, because I feel like at least the YouTube side of thing is already a retirement job. Like if I retire, that's what I would be doing.
Yeah.
And it generates at the very least enough money to sustain itself and to get to do cool stuff. So I think that's nice.
Do you have a map? Maybe whether it's official, whether it's written on a piece of scrap cardboard. Is there a destination in mind you have for your YouTube content? You want to go? You've been to Antarctica. I can only imagine what's next. Like what is there a destination in mind you have for physically where you want to be next?
The original Arby's.
Okay.
In Ohio.
Great. Good.
Born in Ohio. Born
I was even going to say, like, is there a brand you want to work with? But I should have known. Of course, it's freaking Arby's.
Good.
Okay, well, that's great.
On a serious note, though, like you've evolved your online brand through YouTube, through Instagram, through TikTok. When we were just all doing TikToks in 2020, nothing else to do. Is there a next platform you see, or another avenue you want to bring the Taylor Jackson experience to, or is it just kind of seeing what happens? What's the
Las Vegas sphere?
Okay.
No, that's Jamie Coward's answer. I really don't know. I don't have like a whole lot of goals. Like I don't have a list of things that like I need to accomplish or check off.
Okay.
I like the equilibrium, I guess, that I've created.
Okay.
Where I don't have to work all the time, and when I do work, it's mostly fun stuff, and maybe one day a week it's kind of a little bit annoying stuff. But other than that,
You've made a nice thing.
Yeah. So no future goals.
You know, it's honestly, I actually respect this answer, Taylor, because I feel like I struggle with actually enjoying the thing while I'm in the thing. And it's not to say just because you don't currently have a future goal, it doesn't mean that within a year or two there might be something.
Grow.
Like that you might have a goal. Okay, maybe I want to hit 1 million subscribers or whatever a new goal might be whenever you become inspired to do it. But one thing I've always enjoyed about you is that you sit in it. You enjoy it when you're doing the thing. You're like, oh, this is nice. I'll just enjoy this now.
Yeah.
We were walking home from an absolute tour of Uptown Waterloo last night, and we were looking at our buildings, and it was just so nice in the park. And Taylor was like, "This is a nice place to live. We live in a nice place."
Yeah.
You know, and it's just nice to like appreciate the things that you have built and have done for yourself, and
not always be chasing the next thing.
Yeah, good for you for just enjoying the thing, and thanks for trying to help me like enjoy the thing too.
Yeah, and Arby's.
Thank you so much for being here, for liking, commenting, subscribing to all the things so we show up for you. Taylor, are there any closing thoughts? Anything you want to plug? Plugs? We can do plugs.
We've already talked so much about Arby's.
Yeah, you want to plug Arby's?
I don't know.
Big bacon
challenge. Watch YouTube things.
Mallorca.
Yeah, Mallorca.
Okay. We'll talk about Mallorca again. I think that's going to be really exciting. I'm going to be there. I think. Hopefully I get to go. And what else have you got going on YouTube wise? Excited about anything else?
I shot 13 hours of footage behind the scenes at a wedding in Italy last week. Nice. So
with
look
Lily.
forward to that. With Lily Red. That'll be fun. I have like a full wedding day with Liam coming up, a full wedding day with Tim coming up that also involves Lindsay, and then one of me with Lindsay and Tim.
Wow.
Many behind the scenes wedding days.
I think I have about 45 videos in editing right now.
Good grief, that you're not even editing.
No.
Taylor's here. That's why do you think he's retired? He's like, I am retired. Literally 45 videos are being edited and I'm just here drinking this shitty Diet Pepsi.
Do a podcast. Taylor, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I know you live
down the street and we share a studio together, but it's really nice to have you in this formal space to talk about you.
Thank you. And thank you for the free Pepsi.
It wasn't free. I had to pay 99 cents for that.
That was free for me. That's a deal.
It's a really good deal. Yeah, so the home hardware right beside us here is so good. Although not if you want to buy appliances. We did discover that I spent $200 more, maybe $150 more on a wet dry vacuum.
They passed the savings onto the can of Pepsi.
Than Amazon. But honestly, it's like a small family-owned shop and they have a little fridge. Like it's just a little mini fridge and you just go into it and get 99-cent pops.
Popsicle selection too.
Oh yeah, they do have good popsicles there. So if you're ever in Kitchener-Waterloo, head to the home hardware on King Street. So
get your 99-cent Canadian cola.
Yeah, truly, that's a deal. Thank you so much for being here, my darling love, my sweet baby angel.
Thank you.
It's awkward. I hate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Richard.
I'm gonna go now.
He's snoring. Should we mic him for
we probably should. We'll see you next time.
Hello, Shoot Your Shot listeners. Tim and Lindsay have a special request just for you. They want your wedding horror stories for a very special Halloween-themed episode of Shoot Your Shot. Leave your spookiest and scariest wedding photographer stories over at the Shoot Your Shot podcast on Instagram, and your two favorite ghoulish podcasters will read them aloud in a very special Halloween episode of Shoot Your Shot.